Southern Sports Now on a Monday. Welcome in. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm Chase Robinson, your host, as we get ready for a new week, a new show. And, of course, we appreciate you for hanging out with us. And we are live for the next 1 hour. So stick around because we got a great show on the way for you. And I just want to remind you the ways you can watch. We are live on YouTube on the East Alabama Now YouTube channel. We're live on Facebook on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. We are on Twitter at EAN_sports. Those are the ways you can watch the show, connect with us, and hang out with us every weekday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. We talk sports and give you the latest going on in sports locally, nationally, across the state. That's what we love to do here on Southern Sports Now. And coming up at 10:40, we're going to talk some SEC baseball. It's the SEC baseball tournament coming up tomorrow. We'll talk with Joe Cox. He is the baseball writer for Saturday Down South, and we'll get his insight on some of these matchups in round one of the SEC baseball tournament. So that is coming up at 10:40. But we'll dive in to start the show, as always, with our top 5 headlines of the day. So we will get that going. First up, Braves take the series over the Mariners. Seattle Mariners come to town. Brave took the Friday game and the Sunday game. They lost Saturday. It was a bullpen game. I want to really dive into that coming up later on in the show on if these bullpen games are sustainable for the Braves. But a great outing yesterday by Jared Schuster. Had a great first win in his career in the majors, and we'll talk about that as well. But Braves take the series with 2 wins out of the 3 over the Seattle Mariners. In college football, Shane Hooks from Jackson State, he led their offense, wide receiver, had a huge number of yardage last year with Jackson State. He is committed to Auburn. He entered the transfer portal and has decided he was going to go play for Hugh Freeze and Auburn. He was originally committed to Ole Miss, was going to go play with Lane Kiffin, but Hooks has decided to commit to Auburn. But this is a big pickup for Hugh Freeze. You may not know the name, but on the FCS level and as far as Jackson State goes, Shane Hooks was one of their main leaders on offense. Big pickup there for the Auburn Tigers and head coach Hugh Freeze. Alabama softball, for the 17th time in program history, is headed to the Super Regionals. It was an interesting weekend in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide. They dropped their first game of regionals, and that sent them to the elimination bracket. They fought their way out, got 2 wins yesterday to win that Tuscaloosa Regional. And so Alabama softball is back to the Super Regionals. That is coming up this weekend. They get the win of the Super Regionals, and they'll go back to the College World Series. Auburn's season ended yesterday in the, if necessary, game against Clemson. And another headline up here, the Heat are now up 3-0 over the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Heat looking good. We talked on Friday about this series because I had a game Friday night and a game last night. The Heat won both of those, and the Heat are looking really good right now. And the Celtics, you could say, were the best team in basketball, but the Heat looking really good over the weekend. And the Heat are just 1 win away from heading to the NBA Finals. And so that should be interesting coming up as they will take the court again tomorrow. But Heat with a 3-0 lead. Also the Nuggets with a 3-0 lead over the Lakers. Could we see 2 sweeps in the conference finals? That would be something over on the hardwood. And in golf, Brooks Koepka wins the PGA Championship. And this is the first time a LIV golfer has won a major. That's big news. I want to discuss that later and what that means for golf. But definitely a big weekend. We talked about the weather They had a frost delay on Thursday to get going. They had really bad wind on Friday. Saturday, they battled the rain all day long. Yesterday, finally a decent day up at Oak Hills Country Club in Rochester, New York. But Brooks Koepka got the win. Bryson DeChambeau had a good weekend. Scotty Scheffler with a good weekend. Victor Hovland played really good golf. I thought he was going to pull it out. Watching on Saturday, he had a really good late round on Saturday. But Brooks Koepka was up there at the top pretty much all weekend and was able to seal the deal. So a good win in the PGA Championship for Brooks Koepka. And again, says a lot that a live golfer won that PGA Championship. We'll dive into more of that a little bit later. We got a lot to cover today. We'll talk some high school spring football, some golf. Next, I want to dive into some Braves baseball. We will do that as we continue on this Monday. Stay with us. More Southern Sports Now in a moment.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news, new faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you this segment of Southern Sports Now. Ted's Floors and Beyond is your destination for all types of flooring. That's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, and luxury vinyl. But they have now partnered with Welborn Cabinet to offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That is cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, and tile showers. They are locally owned and operated, so you go right there in their store. They're going to have a staff that is very helpful that will help get you what you need, what you want. Lifetime warranty on flooring installations, 0% interest financing for 12 months, and free in-home estimates. Ted's Floors and Beyond, your destination for floors and now beyond as they partner with Welborn Cabinet. So appreciate Ted's Floors and Beyond for sponsoring this segment of Southern Sports Now. We got a lot to get to here in this segment, and I want to talk some Braves baseball. The Braves get the series win over the Seattle Mariners, a series we don't see a ton, but Mariners have some good bats and a couple of good pitchers, but the Braves were able to get the front end and the back end of the series, a Friday night win and a win yesterday. I go to that Saturday game, though, and kind of question what was going on with the pitching. It was a bullpen game, and I want to get to that in just a second of how the Braves are going to keep winning with bullpen games. But let's look at some highlights from yesterday's game. And as far as it went, we'll look at some highlights in just a little bit. But you think of Travis d'Arnaud and what he has meant to this baseball team, and the fact that he was out with concussion protocol for several weeks. He came in yesterday, got a home run, really helped kind of spark this Braves team. It was not a huge offensive game. They were able to get some crucial hits in areas where in areas where they need to, but this was a good win for the Braves, and the fact that they had a fight to get it, and it wasn't just an ordinary go out and score 7 runs and win the game. They really had to fight to get this win, and really proud of the Braves were able to do that. Here's where I'm questioning, especially in Saturday's game, is are these bullpen games going to be sustainable for the Braves? Jesse Chavez came out and started the game on Saturday. He was able to go just a couple of innings. Next up, you had A.J. Minter's not been playing great. Michael Tonkin, who, threw some good pitches. Just you can tell he's not a guy you want to rely on in the beginning of a ball game. He gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits, a couple of walks as well, and that gave Seattle a chance to get themselves in the game and hold the lead. So these bullpen games for the Braves are something that they have to do in certain situations when they maybe can't trust a prospect coming up from the minors. They have to throw these bullpen games. They're not going to be able to do one of these once a week. This may be once every 2 weeks, every 3 or 4 series, but this is not something the Braves can sustain of doing once a week or even multiple times in a week. They've got to rely on good starters. And a positive that we saw yesterday was Jared Schuster. We talked about him with Lindsey Crosby of BravesToday.com last week. Schuster came in. This was his 3rd start yesterday. His first 2 starts were not good. He went 8 2/3 innings, gave up 9 walks and 8 runs. Yesterday, he came in 6 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. So this proves that these younger guys who are in the minors, you give them a chance, keep giving them a chance, and they can do big things for you. That's what Schuster did for the Braves yesterday. They stuck with him. I was glad to see they stuck with him. They didn't base it off of his first 2 performances, which, let's be honest, were not great. They still gave him a chance to get in it. The Braves can work with those numbers. 6 innings pitched, I think, is huge. The fact that he was able to go 6 innings. You think of his first 2 starts, he only went 8 2/3 innings total in those 2 starts. He's not a guy that could go deep into games. If he can keep being able to go deep into games, he's going to find himself in the starting rotation for the next couple of months while Fried and Ryder out. Now, you got to find another guy like Schuster. Is Dylan Dodd that guy? I think he could be. I really do. He's similar numbers to Schuster in the minor leagues. Had a decent spring training with Atlanta down in Florida. Go ahead and call him up. Give him a chance. And we could see possibly numbers like Schuster very soon. They're very similar type pitchers. Or maybe even a Mike Soroka, who we know what he's capable of. He's got a long way to go, I think, until he's back where he was because of these nagging injuries that he has. But the Braves needs to rely on some of these guys who they know can pitch, who they know can go deep into games, and so we can stop with these bullpen games consistently. I'm okay with the bullpen game every once in a while, but you have to have clarified starters. Charlie Morton's doing really good. Spencer Strider's doing really good. Bryce Elder is a guy you can rely on in that third spot. Now, and you got Schuster in the fourth spot now. Now, if you could just find a guy in that fifth spot, which I think could be Dodd, which I think could be Soroka, I think you are going to have a much steady rotation, especially coming into the summer where you got some really tough series. Give them to the All-Star break and then reevaluate. But I think with these guys, if they're able to go deep into games, then you can rely on them. But I was really pleased with what I saw from Schuster yesterday. He's a prime example of that success that you can get from the minors, and the Braves can really rely on these guys from Gwinnett. Speaking of Charlie Morton, he's up tonight. Got the Dodgers coming into Truist Park in Atlanta. You think of the Dodgers, the history of the Braves-Dodgers series. This is a series we usually see in the postseason. You got Freddie Freeman playing with the Dodgers. Charlie Morton on the mound tonight. I think this is really good for game one of the series that Charlie's able to throw. This is a decent lineup for the Dodgers. This by no means is a Dodgers team of the past. They're not near as strong as they were last year, especially 2 years ago. But this is a good team. They always are. They have more money than anybody in baseball. They get who they want. But I don't think their lineup is as deep as we've seen the last 2, 3, 4 seasons. So if Charlie can come in, go 6, 7 innings, mow these guys down, get these big strikeouts like I know he can, I think the Braves are going to be in good shape. Then you've got Spencer Strider, you got Bryce Elder to round out the series. I'm really glad the Braves don't have to go to a bullpen game in this series. I think that could be very dangerous. But you get the momentum and beating the Dodgers. I think that's huge for the Braves, and that's where they want to be, is in a position where they can say that you got a sweep at home versus the Dodgers, you got a series win at home versus Seattle. So I think that's big for the Braves. And again, that game coming up tonight, and that is a 3-game series with the Dodgers there. And I'm excited to see what they've got. Dodgers have decent pitching, so the offense is honestly one of the best lineups in baseball. But they're going to face some really good pitching with LA this week. But Braves-Dodgers series begins tonight, and I think the Braves are heading in the right direction. I think they're going to get at least a series win over the Dodgers, if not a sweep. But, hey, we got to get rid of these bullpen games, and we got to bring up some guys who can get the job done on the mound. And, again, we'll reevaluate for the second half of the season, but give these guys a chance. I think that's how the Braves can finish out strong this summer. More sports talk on the way. Specifically, some high school football talk. Had a chance to visit with the Anniston Bulldogs on Friday. We'll talk about that coming up next.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. Steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Southern Sports Now here on a Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us. I want to remind you, you can watch us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, East Alabama Now. On both of those platforms is where you can find us. If you want to reach out to us, shoot us an email, eansports23@gmail.com, or on Twitter at EAN_sports, or you can send us a message there on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. Like, share, comment. Let us know where you're listening from today. Let us know what's going on with you in the sports world. And we are excited to head into the summer now. You know, we're getting to the point a lot of high school graduations taking place. Some have already happened. Some are happening this week. And so congratulations to the graduates. Spring sports are wrapping up. It's hard to believe we've made it through another high school sports season. High school baseball finished on Friday. High school softball wrapped up on Saturday. A lot of teams finished up their spring football on Friday, and so it's hard to believe we're now into the summer months where workouts begin, and before we know it, it's going to be later in July, and we're going to be having the high school media days, and high school practice will be starting, and we'll be getting ready for the 2023 high school football season. But we did have some teams. Now, we talked about this Friday with Coach Short in studio. A lot of these high school teams are not doing as much spring football, traditional spring football, as they used to, because you are able to get more time in the fall if you elect not to do a spring. You're able to do workouts starting in January, 2 days a week with a coach and players. And so that kind of sets up where you don't need the traditional spring practice. But when it does help is when you have a new coach come in. And that's the case for the Anniston Bulldogs. They had a inter-squad scrimmage, the Cardinal and White game on Friday. I was there. Let's look at some video from out at Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium. There you see the new head coach, Rico Jackson. He comes to Anniston from Tarrant High School. He takes over for Rico White, who headed up to Mae Jemison. But a lot of speed on this Anniston team. That's what really stuck out to me watching their game on Friday was the amount of speed that they have and the arm of Jaden Lewis. And we'll get to him in just a little bit. But you think about the spring, you only get 10 days total to practice in the spring. And, I mean, you saw the weather we had last week. A lot of teams did not actually get their 10 days because they're having to battle the weather. But Coach Rico Jackson told us that he's proud of the guys in the spring. And Friday he was really able to get out there with them and let them have some fun.
The 8 practices, I pretty much knew the day was about having fun. I wanted to see them fly around. There's some stuff I wanted to see on tape. We got a bunch of film that I can watch. But the biggest thing, nobody got hurt. So I'm good with that, and that's going to lead us to something.
Yeah, that is good when nobody gets hurt in your spring football game. But Anniston, very impressive on Friday watching them again. They were just playing each other. But you could tell still that this is going to be a lot of talent on this Anniston football team. And, again, he was able to see some things, watch some things on film. And, he's got a lot to replace for this Anniston Bulldogs team. Cam Sandlin, who was their quarterback last year, he's playing in the SEC now. You got Requez McElderry. He's at Alabama now. You got Jalen Cunningham, who's playing college ball. So a lot of guys have to be replaced. But one guy that they do have coming back is Jaden Lewis. And let's watch some video of him that I was able to get Friday. Very smooth, quick on his feet, and has got a cannon for an arm. Great ball placement there as well. But he also plays on defense as a defensive back, and that is what he will be playing when he plays for Hugh Freeze at Auburn. He's committed to the Auburn Tigers, and but very smooth quarterback, and also a great leader. And that's what stood out to Coach Jackson about Jaden Lewis.
And since I got here, he's been leading. He's going to be one of the greatest leaders that come through this school, and I have no problem saying that because I know a lot of people that went through here. I know a lot of people that played here, and I know the history. And he's really been carrying us this spring. I'm really proud of him, and not just him. The seniors, they've really been coming together and working hard.
So that was Coach Rico Jackson there talking about Jaden Lewis. Very talented quarterback for the Anniston Bulldogs. And, again, also playing on defense at corner. And, Anniston made a run to the quarterfinals of the playoffs last year in Class 4A. They only lost one game. That was that quarterfinal round matchup. And so they've got their eyes set on much deeper. But as Coach Jackson said, they're at the kind of the building blocks stages right now, and but still a very good Anniston Bulldogs team. It was great to see some football on Friday, and a lot of community support there as well on Friday afternoon. They did kind of an afternoon game and gave the students a chance to come watch the football team, so that was cool seeing the students there. They had the band there, the cheerleaders there, and you can tell there's some excitement around Anniston Bulldog football right now. But they'll open up the season August 25th against the Wellborn Panthers there at Lawton Mosby Memorial Stadium, which has become kind of a cool rivalry to start the season with Anniston and Wellborn, two very traditional programs here in Calhoun County, able to play each other to start the season. But I was impressed with Anniston in their spring scrimmage. Several other teams were playing. You had Weaver and West End the other night. Clay Central went over to Haralson County, Georgia, to play. As we know, Clay Central is always a powerhouse in 5A football with Danny Horn leading the team there. Mentioned Weaver and West End. Weaver is going to be looking for a new head coach now, ending the spring, and so that's going to be interesting to follow as well in high school football. And as we talked about on Friday, 83 coaching changes in the state of Alabama this offseason. 83. That is a very, very high number for coaching changes. And so it's going to be interesting to see these schools with their new coaches. Some schools still vacant. Like I said, Weaver, with it coming so late, they do not have a head coach yet. There's several schools across the state of Alabama who do not have a coach yet. But high school football is going to be fun this year because, once again, I think there's a lot of talent back here in East Alabama, especially within Calhoun County. And Oxford has had a lot of eyes on Mason Mims, their quarterback. A lot of colleges interested in him as well. And so this is going to make for a fun high school football season, and we can't wait to be here to talk about it each and every day here on the show. But impressed with Anniston, their running back core as well, as you saw a couple of highlights there from the running games. Malachi Taylor is back at running back, has got a lot of speed on him. And they've got some linemen back as well that I think will be big for those guys. Ja'Cory Lane will be at receiver this year. Big basketball star for the Bulldogs, has decided to come play football, and he looked good as well. And so this Anniston team is, again, in a tough region. Jacksonville should be good once again this year. That was a huge game in Class 4A last year, that Anniston-Jacksonville game. But Anniston looks good. I was impressed with Rico Jackson. Kind of just a resume on him. I mentioned he came from Tarrant High School. Before that, he was the head coach at Fairfield, Aliceville, Escambia County, Murphy, and Tarrant. So he led Aliceville to the 2A state championship game in 2016. He has a 58-59 record in his 11 years as a head coach. But I think what stood out to the Anniston Bulldogs administration was that Class 2A state championship game in 2016. But I was really impressed with him and what I saw from him on Friday. But spring football wrapping up, and we'll head into the summer now with summer workouts and all kinds of chances to see teams playing 7-on-7s. We got a lot of those in the area, and we'll be out there covering those this summer, getting to check on all of our local teams. We'll be talking to coaches throughout the summer as well, and so certainly excited about some high school football as it is coming around. I mentioned Alabama softball earlier, and I want to touch on that for just a couple of minutes before we bring on Joe Cox of Saturday Down South. Alabama softball in the Super Regionals for the 17th time in school history. That is a pretty amazing number of what Patrick Murphy and this softball program have been able to do, and it really shows when you watch this team and how he coaches this team. Montana Fouts was questionable going into the weekend. She was not able to play, and so it was going to be who could step up for Alabama and make it happen in the circle. And boy, this team rallied around each other and were able to they dropped that first game, so they were down in the elimination bracket and had to win their way out. They did so. I was super impressed with Alabama softball this weekend and how they were able to do that. But it's been fun to watch them as well, and it's not over yet. This Alabama softball team definitely could make some noise in the postseason, but they will head to the Super Regionals. So how it works in college softball, you got the regionals, then the Super Regionals, and then the College World Series. So you have to win your Super Regional best-of-3 series. So it's only 2 teams. It's not a tournament. It is 2 teams, and they play each other in a best-of-3 series. Winner moves on to the College World Series. And so that should be fun for Alabama as they await their opponent, the announcement of their opponent, which should come very soon. We'll find out who the Alabama softball team plays, but right now they're ready for anybody at this point. We've seen some really good matchups, and actually just in the last few minutes, their opponent has come out. Alabama has got Northwestern in the Super Regionals, and it's going to be down at Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa. So Alabama's got has a home Super Regional series with Northwestern. That is coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, best of 3. And so Alabama has a chance, if they can get past Northwestern, to get into the College World Series. But some really good hitting for Alabama, clutch home runs for Alabama. And again, even with Montana Fouts out, they still got it done. And one of the hits, the go-ahead home run to win yesterday was from Allie Shipman. And just a little note here, Allie Shipman will be playing with the Vipers this summer at Choccolocco Park. So Allie Shipman won the regional for Alabama yesterday, and you can watch her this summer at Choccolocco Park with the Vipers. So that will be pretty cool. But Alabama Northwestern coming up this weekend in the NCAA Super Regionals. SEC baseball tournament begins tomorrow in Hoover. This should be a really fun SEC baseball tournament. And I used to try to go watch some of these games over in Hoover because they are always entertaining, always great baseball. And as we've seen the last few years, the SEC is second to none as far as entire conference goes for college baseball. So that should be really fun. And we're going to talk about it coming up next. Joe Cox, columnist with Saturday Down South, will join us and preview the SEC baseball tournament, and we will do that coming up next as we continue on Southern Sports Now.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. That saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room. And the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
Southern Sports Now here on this Monday morning. Hope you're having a great start to your week. And I know we are, as the SEC baseball tournament is beginning tomorrow over in Hoover. Always a great week of baseball, and as we know, the SEC, great history as far as the College World Series, especially last year with all the teams in there. Can certainly expect the SEC tournament to be fun and for a great field in the postseason for the Southeastern Conference. We're going to talk some SEC baseball now as we welcome on Joe Cox with Saturday Down South, joining us now to talk some college baseball. Joe, always great to talk with you. How are you today?
Doing great. Glad to be with you. You doing okay?
Doing well, and I'm ready for some SEC baseball this week as we get ready for the conference tournament. Always a fun week. Gets going tomorrow with the single elimination games. But as you look at this first round and the matchups, what kind of matchups stick out to you think would be fun baseball games?
The Alabama-Kentucky game is one that I've kind of got mentally circled because those are two teams that pitch pretty well, that maybe don't have a massive amount of offensive firepower, that kind of play little ball and don't make a lot of mistakes. And I mean, it's an 8-9 game, so automatically, you know, it's pretty even, but they're kind of a good style match too. So that one is certainly interesting. And then Tennessee, Texas A&M, maybe the two disappointments of the SEC this year face off in a game. You know, A&M, they're kind of whistling through the NCAA tournament selection graveyard right here. They really could use a win in this to lock in their spot. If they lose, they may still be in, but they'd really love to get that win and cinch that. Of course, Tennessee's had a little more momentum of late. Maybe they're still thinking hosting, but that seems like a long shot.
As far as Kentucky goes, I know we have a lot of Alabama fans watching, being here in the state, but could you give us kind of a scouting report of the Kentucky Wildcats and what the Tide will be facing coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, it is pure and simple small ball. They have by far the least power in the SEC, but what they do is they steal a lot of bases. They are massively ahead of the entire league in sacrifice bunts. They will bunt more than any team you're going to see this season. Their last, or I guess their first, really, they have the fewest errors defensively in the SEC. So they really predicate what they do in getting guys on base, moving them over, making the other team make mistakes and capitalizing on those. They're a gutty pitching staff. They're probably not the most talented, but kind of like their overall team. They like to hang around games and see if the other team will beat themselves.
And as far as Alabama goes, we talked about it last time you were on here, just with all the off-the-field issues. This is the team that's really kind of rallied around each other and had a great finish to the regular season. What impresses you from what you've seen from the Tide?
I like their pitching. They throw the ball about as well as anybody coming into this tournament, both in terms of having good guys up front, but also depth. And that's going to be tested, particularly for these teams that are playing on Tuesday. I mean, you're looking, if you want to make a deep run, you're going to play a lot of games in a short number of days. So it's time to kind of use the depth a little bit. And Alabama, I think, is a team that will surprise some people. They could very well make a good run in this.
So you got Florida, they're number 1, Arkansas 2, LSU 3, Vanderbilt 4. They'll begin on Wednesday. Florida Gators got the number 1. What do you like about Florida, and especially how they kind of ended this regular season?
Yeah, Florida's got the powerhouse duo at bat. Caglione and Langford are probably the 2 best power hitters, 2 of the best, at least we can say, in the SEC, if not in all of college baseball. And then I really like Florida's rotation. Caglione's not just a great power hitter. He's an excellent starter. Sproat, Waldrop, they really can throw 3 guys at you who are really good. The issue with Florida is going to be consistency and depth. And, maybe this is their opportunity to show that they got more of that than I'm giving them credit for. But, at this point, they're great for a game. Are they great for 4 games? We may have to see.
LSU was holding that top spot in the SEC and the country for a number of weeks. They're number 3 coming into the SEC tournament. What's kind of happened to LSU, and are they a team that you think could end up winning when it comes next Sunday?
Oh, they definitely could. You talk about offensive firepower. They're your team to watch for. The question for them is kind of like Florida, only I think it's a little more serious for LSU, and that's why it's surfaced a little more. It's about depth, particularly on the pitching staff. I mean, Paul Skeens is the ace of the SEC. They've got 1 game in their pocket pretty much when they throw him. The question is what happens in any other games. Floyd's been okay for them, but their 3rd starters, the guys who've made the 3rd and 4th most starts for them, their ERAs are over 6.5, and that's just not going to cut it when you get up at a higher level of competition like they're going to see.
We're talking SEC baseball with Joe Cox of Saturday Down South. When you look at all these teams heading into the conference tournament, what team would you say has the best pitching staff?
Top to bottom, I'm not sure. I don't like Alabama as much as anybody. There are certainly a lot of talented guys out there, but it's going to be about depth now, and I'll put them up there with anybody. Somebody who's going to surprise people, because we're talking about depth, is Auburn, because Auburn, Gonzalez was supposed to be that number 1 guy for them, and he's only pitched in 1 game all season. But Auburn does the kind of counter-logical thing here. They just keep throwing different arms out there, and they'll beat you in a war of attrition on the mound. They don't have 1 guy who's going to blow you away. What they got is a lot of guys who they'll just keep throwing out there who are giving them good innings. Auburn's numbers aren't going to take people by storm, but particularly in a tournament where you're playing a lot of games in a short span of time, watch out for that pitching staff. It's better than people think it is.
Interesting stuff there. For Auburn also, last year they had some heavy hitters. They were able to really get it done on offense. Is this Auburn team, can they rely on the bats as much as years past? What can we expect from Auburn?
It's got to be kind of a balanced effort. They don't have as much firepower, although I really like Bryson Ware. And Ike Irish is one of these guys who, if you don't see him a lot, you may not appreciate everything he does. He's not a major power guy. He's more of a doubles guy than a homer guy, but he's a phenomenal catcher defensively. He handles the pitching staff well, and he has a lot of RBIs for a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs. And that tells you, you get some guys on, you get him at the plate. Despite the fact that he's a freshman, he's going to make you look pretty good. It's going to take a little bit of everything for them. There's definitely a gap in the SEC between those big four who get the extra day off and everybody else. But Auburn's not a 5 for an accident. I mean, they've really come on and played some excellent baseball in the last month or 6 weeks.
Vanderbilt got the number 4 seed in the SEC tournament. What do we know about the Commodores coming into the tournament?
That's Katy Perry's team. They're hot and they're cold, and which one are you going to get? That's going to be the question here. Vanderbilt's got the game covered from every angle. They've got good pitching. They've got good hitting. They play solidly on defense. Bradfield is probably the best stolen base guy in the league. It's just that they're a team that is hard to figure because it's either all going right or it's all going wrong. They don't seem to have kind of those middle gears that maybe you need to cruise through a game or two this time of year. They're certainly capable of putting it all together and going to Omaha and maybe winning in Omaha. But at the same time, you're looking at the possibility of seeing Auburn on Wednesday. Wouldn't be surprised if Auburn won that game one bit.
Interesting stuff. Always fun with the SEC baseball tournament. You mentioned depth, very important for all the baseball that's going to be played. But if you had to pick a couple of teams that you could see maybe as either surprises or teams that maybe in the top 4 that you see winning the SEC, who do you think could survive all week and make it to Sunday?
Yeah, surprise-wise, I like the Alabama teams. I like Auburn. I like Alabama. I think they bring something different to the table. They've got a fairly challenging path, but I like that they stay away from LSU and Auburn for a while, I think, and Arkansas, rather, for a while. I think that helps. Florida and Vanderbilt maybe are teams whose consistency is a little bit more suspect than Arkansas, who would be the team that they jump out at me out of this group. And it's funny because they're not the best at anything, but what they probably are the best at is bringing consistency. And, over 4 days, you're going to have to do that. It's great to have one great game, but, Arkansas just kind of hangs around and it beats you by 2 runs and you go, well, they're good, but are they exceptional at anything? No. Do they have one guy who you go, wow, he's a starlet? No, they don't. But what they've got is a really solid club that just doesn't make mistakes. And, Florida, LSU, Vanderbilt, they're probably more explosive, but they're more prone to sometimes shoot themselves in the foot.
It's going to be a fun week over in Hoover for the SEC baseball tournament. Joe, appreciate you taking time once again with us, previewing the tournament. Always good stuff, but thanks for taking time and joining us today.
Always glad to do it, and this should be a fun time of year for SEC baseball.
Thanks, Joe. Joe Cox, he is with Saturday Down South covering SEC baseball. Appreciate him joining us here on Southern Sports Now here on this Monday. We'll jump to a break, come back, talk some golf in our final segment of the day. Stick around. More Southern Sports Now in a moment.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news. New faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
Southern Sports Now. We continue on this Monday morning. Glad you're joining us. Hope you had a great weekend, and we got a great week on tap today. And one cool thing that's coming up actually tomorrow night at Donahoe is the FCA Home Run Derby, and we're excited for this. And we got a little video. Justin Caldwell, area representative with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, put this together to kind of help give you an idea of what's coming up at the first ever FCA Home Run Derby.
What's up, everybody? It's Justin Caldwell with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We are so excited because we are 1 week away from our first annual FCA Home Run Derby. Now, the Home Run Derby will be next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. right here at McWhorter Brock Field on the campus of Donahoe. Baseball players from all over Calhoun County will meet right here, and they will compete to become the 2023 FCA Home Run Champion. Now, this night is going to be exciting. It's going to be for the whole family. We'll have food trucks here on site, Bricks and Sticks Pizza, Big Boys Wings, and also Kona Ice. And then at the end of the night, when we crown our champion, we will have a fireworks show. So come on out and support our local athletes. It's going to be a great night. Remember, next Tuesday night, May 23rd, 6 p.m. right here at Donahoe. Thank you.
So there you go. Go ahead and make plans tomorrow night there at Donahoe for the first ever FCA Home Run Derby, as this is going to be really cool. Bring the family, bring the kids out. Kids love watching home runs hit. Well, there's going to be hopefully a lot of home runs hit coming up at the Home Run Derby. I'm excited to be there. I'll be emceeing the event, and it's going to be a lot of fun there at Donahoe for the first ever FCA Home Run Derby. And, again, that happens tomorrow night. Check out the Cheaha Valley FCA Facebook page for more information on that. But, again, tomorrow night, and they got food trucks, Kona Ice, all that good stuff for the family. And so make plans to come out and watch the Home Run Derby. Fireworks show as well. Can't forget about the fireworks coming up tomorrow night there at Donahoe. Golf over the weekend, PGA Championship. It was a fun one. And first of all, the weather was one of the main headlines. The frost delay on Thursday, the awful wind on Friday, just the brutal rain on Saturday. I was watching it Saturday afternoon, and the umbrellas out, and these guys just rain-soaked trying to play golf and get that round in. But in the end, it was Brooks Koepka getting the win. And Viktor Hovland had a really good weekend, but it was Koepka able to pass him. Justin Thomas, the defending PGA champion, did not have a great weekend. Jon Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, those guys who number 1, number 2 in the world, you thought they would be up top. Scheffler had a great weekend, finishing tied for second. But Brooks Koepka hoisted the Wanamaker Trophy. This was his 3rd PGA championship and his 5th major championship. And so that says a lot about Koepka and kind of where he's at, and he's playing really good golf. He is the only player besides Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods that has 3-time PGA championships. And so he is amongst a very good group there with Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. But for a LIV golfer, now it's been going on for a year now. The LIV Golf Tour and the PGA have not jived whatsoever. Golfers leaving the tour, going to the LIV Tour, Brooks Koepka being one of those, some other big names, and the PGA did not want to allow LIV golfers to play in major tournaments. And that's been an ongoing discussion for the last year. This is the first time that a LIV golfer has won a major tournament. And Brooks Koepka did it, and there were a lot of these LIV golfers had a lot to say after yesterday. I'll just read a couple of quotes from some of these golfers. Bryson DeChambeau had a great weekend, and at points I really thought the way he was playing that he was going to win the tournament, but he didn't. But he was quick to point out. He said it validates everything we've said from the beginning, that we're competing at the highest level and we have the ability to win major championships. I hope people see the light now, that we're trying to provide the game of golf with something new and fresh. I think at the end of the day, both sides are going to have to come together at some point. It's good for the game. That was Bryson DeChambeau following yesterday. Greg Norman, he is the CEO and commissioner of LIV Golf. And, of course, he had a lot to say, but he did tweet yesterday, "Congrats, Brooks Koepka. Your comeback has been impressive. I'm so proud of you. As for the LIV Golf League players, they belong in the majors, and golf knows." And so you've got to think that it was just some validation yesterday for the game of golf. And again, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people did not want Brooks Koepka to win yesterday, or DeChambeau, or any of these LIV guys. But at the end, he did. And really, when you look at it, these leagues probably aren't going to coincide very well together, but these players deserve to play in the majors. And we saw that this weekend. Brooks Koepka is a great golfer, and you should not let him play in the majors just because he joined another tour. We see that in other sports. We see other leagues, other places for guys to play. And so you got to give these guys a chance. You got to let them play in these majors, and they showed out and had a great weekend up in New York. But hats off to Brooks Koepka for winning the PGA Championship, representing LIV Golf. That's about all the time we have for you on this Monday. We've got a full week, all kinds of great coverage coming up this week. As we'll be talking more Braves, we'll be talking more high school sports, probably more golf, and of course SEC baseball, as the SEC baseball tournament is beginning. Alabama and Auburn both up tomorrow. So we've got a lot to cover this week. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook, on YouTube, East Alabama Now. Go ahead and like and subscribe to those pages so you can get notified when we go live. And be sure to comment and share the post if you weren't able to watch the whole show today, you can go back. It's archived on both Facebook and YouTube. You can go back, watch, share with your friends, and spread the word about Southern Sports Now. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. We'll be with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll talk to you then with more Southern Sports Now.